So last day we looked at multiplying two binomials using the FOIL pattern, and so we'll continue using that skill as we do lesson 2, which is looking at converting form quadratic equations that are in vertex form down into standard form. So as part of our warm-up, we'll just quickly review how to simplify two binomials and multiply them together. So again, we're going to use our first, outside, inside, and last method in terms of multiplying the two binomials. So here in the upper left, we've got x plus 5 all times 2x minus 3. So if we're going to multiply that, we're going to take x times 2x, and that's going to give us 2x squared. And important to note that these two lines are going to be equal to each other. So that multiplies our first terms. Then we're going to multiply our outside terms. So x times negative 3 gives us negative 3x. We'll multiply our inside terms of positive 5 and 2x, and that's going to give us positive 10x. And then we'll multiply our last term. So positive 5 times negative 3, and that equals negative 15. So the final thing we need to do is actually collect the like terms. So in this case, our like terms are negative 3x and positive 10x. So if I simplify that and collect my like terms, I end up with 2x squared plus 7x minus 15. Okay, so I've just multiplied those two things. I'm going to do the same thing here on the upper right. Same example, I've got two binomials that are being multiplied, and again, when I multiply them together, the two components are actually equal to each other. They're equivalent. So I'm going to multiply 3x times 2x. So 3x times 2x gives us 6x squared. That's our firsts. Now we're going to multiply our outside terms. So 3x times negative 3, that gives us negative 9x. Multiply the inside terms of negative 4 and 2x, and that gives us negative 8x. And finally, I'll multiply the last term. So negative 4 times negative 3, and that results in positive 12. So again, I need to collect my like terms, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to take 6x squared, because that's the only x squared term. I can combine negative 9x and negative 8x together, and that will give me negative 17x, and then I'm left with positive 12 at the end. Okay. If I continue with that same process, I've got another example here where I've got 3x minus 7 all squared. This is what we call a perfect square. And in order to do this, remember there's one extra step, and that means we have to expand this out. So just like, for example, 5 squared is the same as saying 5 times 5. 3x minus 7 squared is the same as saying 3x minus 7 times 3x minus 7. Okay? And again, I'm going to use my FOIL pattern. So I'm going to do the same thing I've done before. I'm going to multiply my first terms. So 3x times 3x. That's going to give me 9x squared. I'm going to multiply 3x times negative 7 to give me negative 21x. Multiply my inside terms of negative 7 and positive 3x, and that will again give me negative 21x. So again, you'll notice the inside numbers here are the same. And then finally, I'm going to multiply the last term. So negative 7 times negative 7, which will give me positive 49. So if I collect these like terms, again, the like terms are negative 21x and negative 21x. So I'm left with 9x squared minus 42x plus 49. Okay. And then the last part of our warm-up here, again, we've got x plus 3 and x plus 1. So again, I'll multiply my first terms. X times x is simply x squared. X times positive 1 just leaves me with 1x, so I'm just going to write 1x. I've got positive 3 times x for my inside terms, and that leaves me with 3x. Okay, and then positive 3 times positive 1 leaves me with 3. So if I collect my like terms, I'm left with x squared plus 4x plus 3. Okay, so that's a little bit of a review, warm-up activity there, looking at multiplying two binomials.